Hey guys, this is Crazy Orchid Lady and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick little update on some Vanda seedlings that we had purchased a year ago in a quick eBay haul. If some of you will refer back to some of my earlier videos, you'll actually see this seedling haul. I kind of took a risk on buying this bundle, and yeah, I think there ended up being 9, not including a tiny little guy. So actually 10. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here in these 2 pods, I actually have the 9, and I'll show you the 10th one, which is the biggest one, in just a second. So as you guys can see, these guys have gotten quite big over the past year. Let's see here. This one was the tiniest one. It's grown quite a few leaves. It's got a really nice big kind of more adult mature fruit as I drop that poor thing. Okay. Alright, so this one, I'll just kind of put it off to the side. Alright, you guys, if you can see here, I have them sitting in the lightest bed of sphagnum just to kind of retain more moisture, and they live right here with some of the pots that I've got on the floor for right now. Alright, I've got this one, which actually has a little cakey to it. Here's one of the stringy ones that we had. But yeah, so in this pot we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the little one. I'm just going to tuck them back in there. So these were the really tiny ones. This one was the one that was kind of sickly, and it was actually perfectly fine. I think at one point thought it may have some kind of bacterial infection. Turned out to be just fine. It just didn't really like transport. So this one's still doing really well. It's actually grown those 2 new leaves for me. I think this may be a semi-terrate Vanda, which will end up looking something like this. They grow really slow, at least for me. So, but anyway, so it's in here. These are some of the larger ones that were in there, and they're just working on leaves and roots. And then let me show you the biggest one. So it's really hard to compare, but I will kind of see if I can get a picture of the bigger ones here and the smaller ones over here, so you guys can kind of see the difference of how they look. And let's look at that biggest one. I think this one was actually a separate order, but it all came together for shipping purposes. So the biggest one's actually graduated to its own wooden basket, and it is doing really well. So it's got a nice root system coming on. We'll let that bus just keep driving. Alright, so it's got a nice root system coming on. It's starting to really build that stem in the center. She's probably a good year away, so I probably will not see blooms on this next year either, but she's getting there. So yeah, they're all doing really well. The smaller ones that we have on this side are still probably 2 to 3 years away from blooming, maybe longer for some of these. Some of these may actually be miniature varieties. I'm not sure. It was kind of a mix. So they may be small, like this one, this really tiny one. So I can get it out there. It is really tiny, but as you guys can see, it's got quite a nice structure on its leaves. Look how many it's got. And then this one also has an equally nice structure, whereas this one, which again I'm suspecting is some kind of a semi-terrate type Vanda, only has a few, seems to be growing much slower. But again, this was kind of a mixed bunch, so I don't know what any of these are. These are all no IDs. But yeah, I have them in, as you guys can see, they're kind of grouped. These are what's called community pots. Or if you go to purchase something on a website or a grower's website or eBay, it says Compot. That stands for community pot, which basically is kind of like letting the plants grow in a pot with similarly sized plants of the same type or species, basically just for convenience purposes. They all require the same care. Just gonna tuck them back in there without breaking that one big root he's got. They all kind of require the same care, therefore it's just easier to maintain them here. These guys are slightly bigger, so I kind of put them in their own little community pot. But I'm suspecting early next season I will be moving these guys into their own. and then I'll probably separate these into 2 separate pots. Baby steps kind of along the way, helping them to mature into eventually being into their own baskets. And that guy right there is not part of any of this. This is my son's Vanda. So he likes to rescue plants, so he got that from his mom. So there we go. Oh, one thing I did want to actually bring attention to, this Ascocentrum miniatum. I have referred to it in other videos where it had no roots, and it had started growing 1 leaf, and it's now growing a 2nd leaf, and look at that big root. It only took a whole year for this thing to advance, and I mean a whole year, guys. 1 whole year to finish growing this leaf, because that's what it came with, grow this itty bitty leaf, and start growing that one, and finally I have an actual root, because this thing came on transport from I think it was Malaysia. It was also an eBay purchase, and it was in transit for 6 to 8 weeks, guys. I thought it was going to be shredded dead, but it was green when it got here, and it took a whole year to get there again, but it made it. So I don't recommend it. Don't do that. Don't do what I did, but I wanted to see what would happen. Anyway, so just wanted to give a quick little update on these little seedlings that we had purchased last year to show you what's going on with them and kind of give you a progression of how they're maturing for me. All of them have made it. None of them have passed. None of them got any kind of infection. And they'll continue to be grown outdoors until the seasons change, and then I bring them inside. So thanks again for spending some time with me, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you liked, please don't forget to like, please don't forget to share, subscribe, so that you can get updates from me anytime that I do post something, since I don't post very often. Also, you can visit my Facebook page at crazyorchidlady.fl, and you can send me questions through my email, which is crazyorchidlady.fl@gmail.com. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.